Well, I'm Allie. This is my GS-07 as we've coined it. If you come closer and look, or you'll see that I have the auxiliary lights turned on. Those help with all the night riding. Then you'll go around, you'll see the crash cage that serves as a mounting point for those auxiliary lights. Then you have highway pegs for the long distance riding that I seem to do all the time. Then you'll see that I have the Yamaha genuine saddlebags, which provide me with all kinds of storage. Then I have the GB top box, which is massive, and I think I can store like all of my my gear in here. Typically my helmet and my jacket, unless I'm wearing like the actual touring stuff. Then you have plenty of space in there, and that's how we mounted these gas cans to the bike, or provided that auxiliary fuel system. But you'll see we got two 2.5 gallon tanks, 2 gallon tanks. So that adds like an additional 4 gallons to like my fuel range. And if you look closer, you'll see they're mounted with the knockoff like Rotopex type thing. And there's these hoses that run off of each tank. They each have their own stopcocks to open and close off the fuel system. And they join down here to this one, meets to this pipe that runs alongside here, and then goes up into the fuel tank. And then I have like the ball valve that opens and closes the fuel system. And you'll see right now we have it taped down, but it's like I did an aftermarket gas tank cap that we drilled a hole into and put the fuel, like, I think it's a quick release actually that's in there. So we have a quick release that'll come off of there and make it so I don't have to take off the entire thing. So you just have to release it right there. This system right here is something we'll have to change so that I don't have this super glue tape coming off. So I've had to change it like every fuel stop, just because like it'll erode away because of all the gas. So we have to find a better solution for that. But for now, like, that works pretty fantastic. Then you'll see I do have the Corbin aftermarket seat, which is way better than stock for long distance riding. Still not like amazing, but I don't think there's much better options for a bike that's not really meant for long distance riding. And then I have the CRG lane splitter mirrors. I have the Oxford heated grips, which are fantastic when it's freezing cold. Then I have the on-off switch for the auxiliary lights. I have the Atlas throttle lock, which I need to put a new friction pad on, but it works pretty well. I mean, at highway speeds, you're still going to have it slowly drift off, but it's still pretty helpful. Then I mounted the windscreen on here, hoping that it would give me some kind of like protection from the highway, like winds, all that. It didn't really do all that, but it did serve as a mounting point for the quad lock charging assembly and mount, which is great. I will say that their, I forget what they call it, the vibration dampener thing, doesn't really do all that much, so you might still want to be careful of that. And then that's also how we mounted this other light bar, is on the windscreen. I do have like an aftermarket bulb, which is super bright. And what else do I have? I think that's mostly it. Yeah, but I have plenty of storage with my saddlebags, the GB top box. Then I can mount the gas. I think I get...
You can put your helmet in the box.
Could typically put like 150 miles on a normal gas tank. And then when you add the 4 gallons, you get like another 200 miles almost. So going through the desert, that was really, really helpful having this. So the way that it like feeds is, since it's mounted higher than the gas tank itself, like the fuel goes downward and then just directly fills the tank because it's gravity fed. So there's no actual fuel pump system for that, which would have made it a little bit more complicated. We do have a venting system up top that is kind of tricky, especially when you're in high altitude areas, because it would kind of leak due to like the pressure. But I think we're going to put in the snorkels to hopefully help with that. And I think other than that, like the vents and the main gas tank like supply, like that's the main things we need to change as far as updating it. But like having all of that fuel range, all the storage, the like aftermarket seat, of course the creature comforts like the heated grips. I also have like the connections for the hot wired gear. Yeah, I could pretty much take it during any season. I still don't want to ride the ring because I hate riding in rain. But yeah, stay toasty, stay comfortable, you have plenty of space, and plenty of light, so you're safe mostly from wildlife. That's why, you know, seeing a horse 2 feet off the road from me, it was good, I could see that. And yeah, pretty awesome. GS-07 works for plenty of stuff. I know a lot of people are going to laugh at me, but you have to work with what you have. So this is what I have, and it's now my adventure bike until I can actually get an adventure bike. So
can you sit on the bike and show sort of the comforts?
The comfort? What, like the heated grips?
Oh, like how your sitting positions, your riding positions?
I do have multiple bike yoga poses. I like to do this one most probably when I'm just like cruising down the highway.
Straighten the bars out, yep.
And ever since I changed my handlebars back to stock from the clip-ons, like it's not ridiculous. Before I was kind of like that, but now it's more like this. Then I also have the highway pegs, which could probably use some tightening. Those are pretty good. I also do it like that. But yeah, my favorite's probably up here. Probably not the safest way either. Ooh, I do like to do this too. I like that. That's a good way to stretch out. But yeah, plenty of bike yoga. And it looks kind of silly, but I do that.
How much range do you think you get on the bike with the additional fuel?
So typically I have like 150 miles. I haven't run it to empty yet. But adding that on there, I would say, I think we were doing like 300 miles. Maybe more. Like we always stopped for the other people before I actually had to fill up with the new fuel tank system. So I have a lot of range. I mean, if you think about it, we have like 3.4 gallons standard, and that adds 4. That would essentially double it. So you probably have somewhere around 325, 330, somewhere around there in that range. But like everybody I was riding with like had to fuel up by like 250. So plenty of fuel range there. What else? Yeah, I had the Woodcraft like clip-on bars before, and those were not really good or conducive for like long distance riding because your body is in like such a bad angle. I mean, it's great if you're like riding in town, you're riding around, but not for long distance. And I did manage to have like enough room on my handlebars to mount everything. I did have to put the bar ends on that had a specific like slot to put these mirrors on, because I didn't want to switch to like bunny ears or something that, I don't know. I'm glad they have this little slot that you can mount the bar mirrors on, so there's a little space.
Can you straighten the bars out and then show the lights?
The lights, as long as I don't burn my battery up. But yeah, fantastic for detecting wildlife, blinding everybody that comes at me, because that's totally what I do. No, I treat it like I do like high beams on a car. You turn them off when people are coming at you. But it's fantastic. Like, we were in the desert, and if you've ever been in the desert, like, it's pitch black at night, and this just lights everything up. Especially when I ride with other people that have like the same light like fixtures on their bike.
Yeah, we call you Rudolph because you got the brightest lights of all the bikes.
I know, and I'm red. My bike's red. But yeah, my aftermarket headlight is pretty bright too. I'm actually not sure what that is because I didn't put it on there. But fantastic bike.
How's the handling been with the fuel?
You know what? I will say that it was like tricky at first to kind of judge my weight, but I took it on like a test ride the day before we left for Colorado, and I put like a full thing of groceries in this top box, and I had fuel in the gas cans. And like at first I was like, oh, this feels like there's a lot of weight back there, but I mean, if you ride around for like a half an hour or an hour, you're gonna get used to it. It's really not that different. I will say, like, at the low speeds of riding, you have to be very careful that you don't let it like get behind you and move you around, especially when you're tired, because I did find that out during the trip, that the weight behind me was kind of tricky with the low speeds. But I mean, most of the time we're not going to be doing things like trying to do U-turns or whatever in parking lots, so overall it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay, I think that I think that's about it. If you have any questions.
The GS-07. If you want to go adventure riding on your FZ-07. But yeah, fantastic bike. You can do anything with it.